Have you ever wondered if a tiny dime hiding in an old coin jar could be one of the greatest treasure discoveries of your life? What if I told you that right now, somewhere in America, people are unknowingly spending coins that collectors desperately want to own? Today, we're diving into a breathtaking countdown featuring some of the most fascinating, mysterious, and highly sought-after Roosevelt dimes ever discovered. These are not ordinary coins. These are the coins that make collectors stop, stare, and sometimes compete fiercely to add them to their collections. And here's the unbelievable part. Most people would never recognize them. To the average person, they look just like any other dime. But hidden within these tiny pieces of American history are remarkable stories, extraordinary details, surprising rarity, and collector demand that continues to capture attention across the numismatic world. As this video unfolds, you'll discover dimes that survive decades against the odds, dimes that possess features collectors search for endlessly, and dimes whose stories become more incredible the deeper you look. Some of these coins were struck decades ago. Some have unique characteristics that separate them from millions of others, and some have become legendary among serious coin hunters. But don't skip ahead, because each coin on today's list becomes more fascinating than the last. And the final entries may completely change the way you look at every dime you encounter from this day forward. Whether you're a lifelong coin collector, a treasure hunter, a rare coin enthusiast, or simply someone curious about valuable coins hiding in plain sight, this video is packed with discoveries you won't want to miss. So grab your coin collection, check your old change jars, and get ready for an incredible journey through 6 unique dimes that have captured the attention of collectors across America. Welcome back to Minted Million Coins, your destination for rare coin discoveries, hidden treasure stories, valuable coin research, coin collecting secrets, and exciting numismatic adventures. Let's begin the countdown and uncover the first remarkable dime on today's list. Today, we are revealing a Roosevelt dime that continues to capture attention across the collecting community. A coin that many people have handled, spent, ignored, and forgotten. Yet under the right condition, this small piece of metal transforms into something that collectors hunt for with incredible excitement. Before we reveal exactly why this coin has become so desirable, I want you to pay close attention until the very end, because the details you are about to learn could completely change the way you look at every dime you find from now on. This is Minted Million Coins, where hidden treasures, rare coins, valuable discoveries, and collector secrets are revealed every single day. Now let's uncover the fascinating story behind the incredible 1997 D. Roosevelt dime. The story begins the year was 1997. America was approaching a new millennium. Technology was expanding. The economy was changing. Millions of coins were flowing through banks, businesses, and households every single day. Among those coins was the Roosevelt dime. At first glance, there seemed to be absolutely nothing unusual about it. The coin carried the familiar portrait of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, one of the most respected figures in American history. For decades, Roosevelt dimes had been a symbol of American heritage, resilience, and progress. Yet hidden within the vast production of 1997 dimes was a category of coins that would eventually attract attention from collectors searching for exceptional condition, remarkable preservation, and long-term rarity. The Denver Mint connection, the coin we are discussing today, was produced at the Denver Mint. You can identify it by the small D mint mark located near the date. Millions of Americans have seen that little letter countless times without realizing its importance. For collectors, however, mint marks tell a story. They reveal where a coin was born. They connect the coin to a specific facility, production process, and chapter of American numismatic history. The Denver Mint has produced countless legendary coins over the decades, and the 1997 D. Roosevelt dime proudly carries that tradition. Composition and design now, let's look closer at what makes this coin special. The 1997 D. Roosevelt dime is composed of a copper core surrounded by outer layers of copper nickel. Its diameter measures approximately 17.91 millimeters. Its weight is approximately 2.268 grams. Its edge features the familiar reeded design that Americans instantly recognize. On the obverse, we see the distinguished portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt. His image represents strength during some of the most challenging periods in American history. On the reverse, a beautiful torch stands between an olive branch and an oak branch. The torch symbolizes liberty. The olive branch represents peace. The oak branch represents strength. Together, they create one of the most recognizable coin designs in modern American history. Why collectors pay attention here is where things become truly interesting. Most 1997 D. Roosevelt dimes entered circulation. They were used every day. They traveled through cash registers. They passed through vending machines. They jingled in pockets. They accumulated scratches, wear, marks, and damage. As years passed, fewer and fewer examples survived in exceptional condition. That is exactly where collector demand begins. The coin itself may not appear extraordinary to the average person, but when a coin survives in remarkably preserved condition, the collecting world starts paying attention. Collectors understand that condition is everything. Imagine finding a 1997 D. Roosevelt dime that looks almost untouched. The details remain sharp. The surfaces remain bright. The luster still shines. The design elements appear crisp and attractive. That is where excitement starts building. Collectors are constantly searching for examples that stand above the rest. When a coin demonstrates outstanding preservation, demand often increases dramatically. This pursuit of quality has transformed many modern coins into highly sought-after collector pieces. One of the reasons people love coin collecting is the thrill of the hunt. Unlike many collectibles locked away in stores or museums, coins can still appear in everyday places. They can emerge from old collections. They can be discovered in inherited coin jars. They can surface during bankroll searches. They can appear where nobody expects them. That possibility creates excitement. Every coin search becomes an adventure. Every handful of change becomes a mystery waiting to be solved. Another reason collectors examine 1997 D. Roosevelt dimes carefully is the possibility of discovering unusual mint errors. Coin errors can occur during the manufacturing process. These may include off-center strikes, die cracks, strike abnormalities, and other production-related characteristics. While most 1997 D dimes are normal circulation pieces, collectors carefully inspect each example because unusual errors can attract significant attention. Finding a genuine error coin can completely change the conversation surrounding a seemingly ordinary dime. That possibility keeps collectors searching year after year. The demand today, fast forward to today. Interest in rare coins continues to grow. Collectors across America are searching for hidden treasures. Coin collecting videos receive millions of views. Online communities discuss discoveries daily. Auction results generate excitement. And modern coins, in exceptional condition, continue attracting attention. The 1997 D. Roosevelt dime has become one of those dates that collectors frequently examine because quality examples are becoming increasingly desirable. The market value reveal now comes the moment many viewers have been waiting for. If you own a 1997 D. Roosevelt dime in the condition we are discussing today, the market value often discussed by collectors can reach approximately $7,000. That number surprises many people. A coin most Americans would instantly spend can become a prized collector item when the right condition, preservation, and demand come together. That is why knowledgeable collectors never underestimate modern coins. The smallest discoveries can sometimes create the biggest excitement. Why some collectors refuse to sell. Many collectors believe exceptional examples deserve patience. They understand that collector demand changes over time. They appreciate rarity. They appreciate preservation. They appreciate quality. For these reasons, some collectors choose to hold outstanding examples rather than immediately sell them. They view these coins as important pieces of modern American numismatic history. If you find a 1997 D. Roosevelt dime, handle it carefully. Avoid cleaning it. Never polish it. Never attempt to improve its appearance. Collectors generally prefer original surfaces. Store potential, find safely. Use protective holders whenever possible. Examine the coin under good lighting. Look for strong details, attractive luster, and unusual characteristics. Most importantly, continue learning. Knowledge remains one of the most valuable tools in the entire hobby. The excitement continues. The story of the 1997 Roosevelt Dime proves that treasures do not always look dramatic. Sometimes they hide in plain sight. Sometimes they wait quietly for years. Sometimes they pass through countless hands before somebody finally recognizes their significance. That mystery is what makes coin collecting so exciting. Every search creates possibility. Every discovery creates anticipation. Every coin has a story. And sometimes, those stories become far more valuable than anyone imagined. Next, we have: what if a tiny Roosevelt dime, a coin most people wouldn't look at twice, could actually be one of the most fascinating treasures collectors continue searching for today? Imagine reaching into your pocket, pulling out a simple dime, and realizing that what looks ordinary to everyone else could be a coin with a story, a mystery, and a level of collector attention that surprises even experienced treasure hunters. Some of the greatest discoveries don't come from sunken ships, hidden vaults, or ancient treasure chests. Sometimes they come from everyday change. Sometimes they come from a coin people spend without a second thought. And today's coin is one of those incredible stories. Stay with me until the end, because the history, rarity, collector demand, unique characteristics, and surprising value potential behind this 1987 Roosevelt dime may completely change the way you look at every dime you find from now. Now let's uncover the mystery behind the remarkable 1987 Roosevelt dime. The story begins in 1987. America was changing rapidly. Technology was advancing. The economy was evolving. Millions of coins were being produced and distributed throughout the country every single day. Among those coins was the Roosevelt dime. To the average American, it was simply 10 cents. Nothing unusual, nothing rare, nothing worth saving. At least that's what most people believed. But decades later, collectors would begin paying closer attention to specific examples of the 1987 Roosevelt dime, especially those surviving in extraordinary condition. And that's where the excitement begins. The Roosevelt dime carries a rich American legacy. Introduced in 1946, the coin honors President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, one of the most influential leaders in United States history. His leadership through difficult times left a permanent mark on the nation. His connection to the March of Dimes campaign made him the perfect figure to appear on America's dime. By 1987, Roosevelt dimes had already become one of the most recognized coins in circulation. Millions were struck. Millions were spent. Millions disappeared into everyday commerce. Yet hidden among them were examples that would eventually capture collector attention. The small D mint mark on the 1987 Roosevelt dime represents the Denver Mint. That tiny letter tells an important story. For collectors, mint marks are more than simple letters. They identify a coin's birthplace. They connect the coin to a specific chapter in United States mint history. The Denver Mint has produced countless collectible coins over the decades. The 1987 Roosevelt dime proudly belongs to that tradition. The 1987 Roosevelt dime is composed of a copper core, surrounded by outer layers of copper nickel. Its weight is approximately 2.268 grams. Its diameter measures approximately 17.991 millimeters. Its reeded edge gives the coin its familiar appearance. The obverse features the iconic portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt. The reverse showcases the famous torch positioned between an olive branch and an oak branch. The torch symbolizes liberty. The olive branch represents peace. The oak branch represents strength. Together they create one of the most recognizable coin designs in modern American history. This is where the story becomes truly fascinating. Most 1987 Roosevelt dimes entered circulation immediately. They spent years moving from hand to hand. They experienced wear. They collected scratches. They lost their original brilliance. Over time, truly exceptional examples became increasingly difficult to find. Collectors understand something important. Condition matters. A coin that survives in outstanding condition often becomes dramatically more desirable than its heavily circulated counterparts. This pursuit of quality drives collector demand and creates excitement throughout the hobby. The beauty of high-grade survivors imagine discovering a 1987 Roosevelt dime that appears nearly untouched. The details remain sharp. The surfaces remain attractive. The luster shines brightly. The design elements appear crisp and well-preserved. Collectors love coins that display these characteristics. Exceptional preservation separates ordinary examples from those that capture serious attention. That is exactly why high-grade survivors continue attracting interest year after year. Collectors also carefully examine 1987 Roosevelt dimes for unusual minting characteristics. Coin errors have always fascinated the collecting community. Off-center strikes, die cracks, clipped planches, strike anomalies, various production irregularities. Most coins are perfectly normal, but the possibility of discovering something unusual keeps collectors searching endlessly. Every roll of coins becomes a treasure hunt. Every collection becomes an adventure. Every dime becomes a possibility. The growing demand coin collecting continues to grow across the United States. Online communities discuss discoveries daily. Collectors share finds. Auction results create excitement. Modern coins receive increasing attention. The 1987 Roosevelt dime has become one of those dates many collectors enjoy examining because attractive examples are becoming more difficult to locate. That demand keeps interest alive. The moment of revelation now comes the moment many viewers have been waiting for. When collectors discuss exceptional examples of the 1987 Roosevelt dime in the condition we are focusing on today, values can reach approximately $25,000. That number surprises many people because it demonstrates how preservation, rarity factors, collector demand, and market attention can transform an everyday dime into a highly sought-after numismatic prize. It serves as a reminder that extraordinary discoveries can sometimes come from the most ordinary places. Many collectors never stop searching. They understand that remarkable coins can appear unexpectedly. They appreciate history. They appreciate rarity. They appreciate preservation. And they understand that every coin tells a story. The 1987 Roosevelt dime represents all of those qualities. That is why interest remains strong. That is why searches continue. That is why discoveries create excitement. If you discover a 1987 Roosevelt dime, handle it carefully. Avoid cleaning it. Avoid polishing it. Preserve its originality. Store potential finds properly. Examine details under strong lighting. Look for exceptional surfaces and unusual characteristics. Most importantly, continue learning. Knowledge remains one of the most powerful tools any collector can possess. The more you learn, the more opportunities you may recognize. The story of the 1987 Roosevelt dime proves that hidden treasures can exist where nobody expects them. A tiny coin, a simple dime, a piece of everyday change. Yet behind it lies history, mystery, collector passion, and the excitement of discovery. That is what makes coin collecting such an incredible hobby. Every coin has a story. Every search has potential. Every discovery creates excitement. Next we have, right now, somewhere in America, there may be a person carrying this coin without realizing its incredible story. A tiny dime. A simple piece of pocket change. A coin that looks completely ordinary. Yet behind that ordinary appearance lies one of the most exciting chapters in United States coin history. Today, we're uncovering the mystery behind a Roosevelt dime that continues to spark curiosity, excitement, and treasure hunting dreams among collectors nationwide. Stay with me until the very end because this coin's history, rarity factors, collector demand, and surprising market attention may completely change how you look at every dime you find from now on. This is minted million coins, where rare treasures, valuable discoveries, collector secrets, and hidden coin stories are revealed every single day. Now let's uncover the fascinating story of the incredible 1965 Roosevelt dime. The story begins in 1965. This was not an ordinary year for American coins. In fact, many numismatic experts consider 1965 one of the most important years in modern United States mint history. The nation was facing a major coin shortage. Silver prices were rising rapidly. Americans were saving silver coins instead of spending them. As silver disappeared from circulation, the United States Mint faced tremendous pressure. Something had to change. That change would forever alter the future of American coinage. The result was one of the most historic transitions ever seen in the hobby. And right in the middle of that transformation was the 1965 Roosevelt dime. For decades before 1965, Roosevelt dimes contained silver. Collectors loved them. Americans used them daily. Silver coinage had become part of everyday life. Then, history changed. The 1965 Roosevelt dime became part of a new generation of coin production. It marked a major shift in how American coins were manufactured. Because of this historic connection, collectors continue paying special attention to this date. The 1965 Roosevelt dime represents more than a coin. It represents a turning point in American monetary history. The design that America recognizes the obverse displays Franklin Delano Roosevelt. His portrait remains one of the most recognizable images in American coinage. The design reflects strength, leadership, and resilience. Every detail was carefully crafted to honor one of America's most influential presidents. On the reverse, the famous torch stands proudly between an olive branch and an oak branch. The torch symbolizes liberty. The olive branch represents peace. The oak branch represents strength. Together they create a design that millions of Americans instantly recognize. Yet few people stop to appreciate the deeper meaning behind these powerful symbols. One reason collectors find the 1965 Roosevelt dime so fascinating is its connection to a historic transition period. This date stands apart because it was produced during one of the most dramatic changes in modern American coinage. Another interesting feature is the absence of mint marks. Many collectors are surprised when they cannot locate one. That missing mint mark is part of the story and reflects special mint policies that existed during this era. Collectors also study strike quality carefully. Strong details, sharp lettering, brilliant surfaces, original mint luster. These characteristics often become important when determining collector interest. The smallest details can make a tremendous difference. One reason coin collecting continues growing in popularity is the thrill of discovery. Every coin tells a story. Every date carries history. Every collection contains mystery. The 1965 Roosevelt dime perfectly captures that excitement. Millions were produced. Millions circulated. Millions disappeared into everyday commerce. Yet only a small percentage survive in truly exceptional condition. That reality fuels collector demand. It motivates searches. It inspires treasure hunts. It keeps people checking their change. Condition changes everything. Two coins may share the same date. Two coins may share the same design. Yet one can attract dramatically more collector interest because of superior preservation. A beautifully preserved example captures attention immediately. Sharp details, bright original surfaces, strong luster, minimal marks. These characteristics can transform an ordinary coin into a highly desirable collectible. Collectors understand that quality matters. That is why exceptional examples often become the center of attention. The possibility of mint errors adds another layer of excitement. Collectors carefully examine Roosevelt dimes looking for unusual production characteristics. Die cracks, off-center strikes, clipped planches, double impressions, various minting anomalies. Most coins are normal. But every collector knows that remarkable discoveries sometimes appear where nobody expects them. That possibility keeps the hunt alive. Every coin roll becomes an opportunity. Every collection becomes an adventure. Every search carries anticipation. Decades have passed since 1965. Yet collectors remain fascinated. The coin represents history. It represents transition. It represents one of the most important periods in modern American numismatics. Many collectors actively seek attractive examples for their collections. Others enjoy the challenge of locating high-quality specimens. Some simply appreciate owning a piece of American history. That combination of historical significance and collector demand continues driving interest today. Now comes the moment many viewers have been waiting for. When collectors discuss exceptional examples of the 1965 Roosevelt dime in the condition we are focusing on today, values can be discussed at approximately $15,000. That figure surprises many people because it highlights how collector demand, preservation, rarity factors, and historical importance can elevate a seemingly ordinary dime into a remarkable numismatic treasure. For many enthusiasts, discoveries like this prove that valuable opportunities can still exist in the world of coin collecting. If you discover a 1965 Roosevelt dime, resist the urge to clean it. Preserve its originality. Handle it carefully. Store it properly. Examine it under strong lighting. Study the details closely. Pay attention to strike quality and overall preservation. Most importantly, continue learning. Knowledge remains one of the greatest advantages any collector can possess. The more you learn, the more opportunities you can recognize. The story of the 1965 Roosevelt dime reminds us why coin collecting continues captivating people across America. History, mystery, discovery, possibility, all contained within a tiny coin that many people overlook. That is the magic of this hobby. Treasures do not always announce themselves. Sometimes they hide quietly in plain sight. Sometimes they wait decades to be appreciated. And sometimes a simple dime becomes one of the most fascinating stories in American coin collecting. Next, we're revealing one of the most talked about Roosevelt dimes that has captured the attention of collectors who understand that true treasure doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it hides in plain sight. Sometimes it waits quietly for decades. And sometimes a coin that appears completely ordinary turns out to have a story that surprises everyone. Stay with me until the very end, because the details behind this incredible 1967 Roosevelt dime could completely change how you look at every dime you encounter from now on. Now let's uncover the mystery behind the remarkable 1967 Roosevelt dime. To understand why collectors still talk about this coin, we have to travel back to one of the most fascinating periods in American coin history. The year was 1967. America was experiencing enormous change. Technology was advancing. The space race was capturing imaginations. The nation was evolving rapidly. At the same time, the United States Mint was facing unprecedented pressure to produce enough coins for circulation. Coin shortages had become a major concern throughout the country. Americans needed coins for everyday commerce, and the Mint was working tirelessly to keep up with demand. During this period, millions upon millions of Roosevelt dimes entered circulation. At first glance, they appeared completely ordinary. Nobody could have imagined that decades later, collectors would be carefully examining these same coins with magnifying glasses and intense curiosity. Yet that is exactly what happened. The Roosevelt dime was introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Roosevelt's leadership during difficult times left a lasting impact on American history. His connection to the March of Dimes campaign made the dime the perfect denomination to carry his image. By 1967, the Roosevelt dime had already become one of the most recognizable coins in America. Millions of people handled these coins every day. Children carried them. Businesses counted them. Banks distributed them. Yet hidden among the massive production numbers were examples that would eventually attract serious collector attention. The 1967 Roosevelt dime represents an important era in United States coinage. The coin consists of a copper core, bonded between outer layers of copper nickel. This composition reflected the major changes occurring within American coin production during the 1960s. The obverse displays the iconic portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt. Every detail of the design showcases remarkable craftsmanship. The reverse features the famous torch flanked by an olive branch and an oak branch. Together, these symbols represent liberty, peace, and strength. Collectors often admire the clean appearance of the Roosevelt dime design because every detail contributes to its historic significance. What makes the 1967 Roosevelt dime especially fascinating is that it was produced during a unique period of American coinage history. Unlike many other Roosevelt dimes, the 1967 issue does not carry a mint mark. That detail immediately separates it from numerous other years in the series. For newer collectors, this often creates confusion. Many people search for a mint mark and cannot find one. Yet that absence itself tells an important historical story connected to mint policies of the era. Another feature collectors examine closely is strike quality. Coins from this period can display varying levels of sharpness. Examples with strong details often attract special attention because they showcase the design at its finest. The Roosevelt portrait, the torch, the lettering, the date. Every detail matters. Now we arrive at the reason excitement continues building around this coin. Most 1967 Roosevelt dimes entered circulation immediately. They performed exactly the job they were intended to perform. They changed hands countless times. They experienced wear. They accumulated scratches. They lost their original brilliance. As decades passed, truly exceptional examples became increasingly difficult to locate. Collectors understand that condition is one of the most important factors in determining desirability. The better the preservation, the greater the excitement. That reality transforms ordinary coins into collector targets. When a coin survives in remarkably preserved condition after nearly 60 years, people notice, collectors notice, dealers notice. The entire numismatic community notices. One of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting is the possibility of discovering errors. The 1967 Roosevelt dime has been carefully studied by collectors searching for unusual characteristics. Strike anomalies, die cracks, off-center examples, clipped planches, various production irregularities. Most coins are completely normal, but the possibility of finding something unusual keeps collectors searching year after year. That hunt creates excitement. Every coin roll becomes an adventure. Every collection becomes a treasure hunt. Every discovery creates anticipation. Now comes the moment many viewers have been waiting for. If a 1967 Roosevelt dime survives in the exceptional condition we are discussing today, collectors may discuss values reaching approximately $9,000. That number shocks many people because it demonstrates how dramatically collector demand can transform an everyday coin into a remarkable numismatic prize. It serves as a reminder that rarity, preservation, historical significance, and collector demand can combine to create extraordinary interest around a small piece of American history. If you discover a 1967 Roosevelt dime, take your time before making assumptions. Never clean the coin. Never polish the surfaces. Never attempt to improve its appearance. Original surfaces are often preferred by collectors. Store potential finds carefully. Use proper coin holders whenever possible. Examine the coin under strong lighting. Look closely at the details. Study the strike quality. Search for unusual characteristics. Most importantly, continue learning. Knowledge remains one of the greatest treasures in coin collecting. The incredible story of the 1967 Roosevelt dime proves that hidden treasures can appear where nobody expects them. Next. The Roosevelt dime in exceptional condition has become one of the most talked about modern dimes among collectors. And here's the crazy part. Thousands of these coins passed through American hands over the years. Yet only a tiny number survived in the kind of condition that makes collectors pay serious money. Somewhere out there, hidden in an old collection, a forgotten coin album, or even a family inheritance, one of these remarkable dimes could still be waiting to be discovered. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating story of the 1974 D. Roosevelt dime. We'll uncover its history, reveal what makes certain examples stand out from the crowd, explore the features collectors search for, and explain why top-condition specimens continue attracting attention in today's coin market. Stay with me until the end, because the final value reveal might completely change the way you look at every dime you see. If you're passionate about rare coins, hidden treasures, coin collecting discoveries, and valuable pocket change, make sure to subscribe to Minute Million Coins, because we bring fresh coin stories and collector updates every single day. Now let's begin our journey into one of the most fascinating Roosevelt dimes of the modern era. The story of the 1974 D. Roosevelt dime begins at the Denver Mint during a period when America was experiencing major economic and cultural changes. By 1974, the Roosevelt dime had already become a familiar part of everyday commerce across the United States. Named in honor of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, this coin represented both American history and national resilience. Unlike older silver dimes, the 1974 D. Roosevelt dime was struck using a copper-nickel-clad composition. The outer layers consisted of copper-nickel, bonded to a pure copper core. While this composition was common for circulation coinage during the era, what makes certain surviving examples extraordinary is not the metal itself, but the incredible condition in which a select few pieces have survived. The Denver Mint produced hundreds of millions of Roosevelt dimes during 1974. At first glance, that production number might suggest there is nothing special about this coin. After all, how can a coin be valuable when so many were made? This is exactly where the story becomes fascinating. Most of those dimes entered circulation immediately. They passed from hand to hand, through cash registers, vending machines, banks, and businesses throughout America. Every transaction added tiny scratches, marks, and wear. Decades later, finding a 1974 D. Roosevelt dime is easy. Finding one preserved at an elite collector level is an entirely different challenge. Collectors pay close attention to strike quality, luster, surface preservation, and overall eye appeal. The finest examples display brilliant original mint luster that dances across the coin's surface when light hits it. The details on Roosevelt's portrait appear sharp and crisp. The torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse remain boldly defined, creating the visual impact that advanced collectors love. One of the most exciting aspects of the 1974 D. Roosevelt dime is the hunt for superior condition examples. Many collectors spend years searching through rolls, collections, and dealer inventories, hoping to locate a specimen that stands above the rest. The difference between an average coin and an elite coin can be astonishing. Another factor driving collector interest is certification. Professional grading services evaluate coins according to strict standards. As grades climb into the highest mint state levels, populations become dramatically smaller. This scarcity at the top of the grading scale creates intense competition among collectors seeking the finest known examples. Imagine a coin that survived decades without suffering the damage most coins experience. Imagine surfaces that still radiate original brilliance, details that remain razor sharp, and preservation so impressive that specialists immediately recognize its quality. These are the characteristics that transform an ordinary-looking dime into a collector prize. When discussing rarity, it is important to understand that rarity doesn't always mean low mintage. Sometimes rarity means survival rarity. Millions may have been produced, but only a tiny number remain in extraordinary condition. This concept plays a major role in the desirability of top-tier 1974 D. Roosevelt dimes. Collectors also examine potential mint errors and unusual characteristics, while most examples are standard issues. Verified error coins can generate significant interest depending on the nature and severity of the error. Off-center strikes, die-related anomalies, and other authenticated mint mistakes often receive special attention within the numismatic community. The excitement surrounding this coin continues, because every year more collectors enter the hobby, searching for quality modern coinage. Demand for exceptional examples remains strong whenever collectors compete for the highest graded specimens. This combination of condition rarity and collector demand keeps attention focused on the best surviving examples. Now comes the moment many viewers have been waiting for. A 1974 Roosevelt Dime in exceptional FI condition, matching the level discussed in today's video, has been reported at approximately $25,000 in the collector marketplace under specific high-grade circumstances. Values can vary based on certification, eye appeal, grading service, market conditions, and auction activity. But this figure demonstrates why serious collectors pay such close attention to elite quality examples. Think about that for a moment. A coin most people would never look at twice can become a centerpiece of a collection when preserved at an extraordinary level. This is what makes coin collecting so exciting. Hidden within ordinary-looking coins can be stories of rarity, preservation, and collector competition that few people ever imagine. If you own a 1974 Roosevelt Dime, examine it carefully. Look for strong luster, sharp details, minimal marks, and outstanding eye appeal. Store potential finds properly, and consider professional evaluation if you believe your coin may be exceptional. Preservation is one of the most important factors in determining long-term collector interest. The biggest lesson from today's coin is simple. Never assume a common-looking coin is automatically common in value. The world of numismatics is filled with surprising discoveries, and sometimes the most extraordinary treasures hide behind the most ordinary appearances. And remember, the next incredible coin discovery could already be sitting in a collection, a coin jar, or a forgotten box somewhere in America right now. Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and keep hunting for hidden treasures. Next, we move on to the tiny coin we're talking about today may be one of the biggest surprises hiding in American coin collecting. Most people would glance at it for less than a second. Some would throw it into a coin jar. Others would leave it forgotten in a drawer for years. But what if one ordinary-looking Roosevelt dime could completely change the way collectors look at pocket change? What if a coin that millions of Americans have handled without a second thought has become one of the most fascinating modern treasures in the collecting world? Today's coin is mysterious. It's overlooked. It's underestimated. And that's exactly what makes this story so exciting. Because hidden behind its small size is a remarkable collector journey, filled with rarity, demand, preservation, and a level of quality that most examples never achieved. Stay with me until the end, because we're uncovering the full story of the 1981 Roosevelt Dime, including its history, the unique features that collectors search for, the conditions that separate ordinary coins from elite specimens, and the incredible collector value that has stunned many people who thought modern coins could never become true treasures. If you love rare coins, valuable coins, coin collecting, hidden treasures, numismatics, pocket change discoveries, coin hunting, and collectible coins from the United States, make sure you subscribe to Minted Million Coins, because we bring fresh rare coin stories and collector updates every single day. Now let's begin. The story of the 1981 Roosevelt Dime begins at the Denver Mint during an interesting period in American coinage history. America was entering a new decade. Technology was advancing. The economy was changing. And millions upon millions of coins were being produced to meet the demands of everyday commerce. Among those coins was the Roosevelt Dime. At first glance, there seemed to be nothing unusual about it. It carried the familiar portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the front, and the famous torch, olive branch, and oak branch design on the reverse. Americans use these coins every day. They traveled through banks, stores, restaurants, vending machines, and cash registers throughout the country. Few people imagined that decades later, certain examples would become highly sought after by serious collectors. The Roosevelt dime itself carries an important place in American history. The coin honors President Franklin D. Roosevelt, whose leadership helped guide the nation through difficult times. His image first appeared on the dime in 1946. Since then, generations of Americans have carried Roosevelt dimes in their pockets. By 1981, the design had become one of the most recognizable images in American coinage. The 1981 D. Roosevelt dime was struck at the Denver Mint, represented by the famous D Mint mark. The coin was produced using a copper-nickel-clad composition. Its outer layers consist of copper-nickel, bonded to a pure copper core. This composition had become standard for circulating dimes after the transition away from silver coinage years earlier. But here's where the story becomes interesting. When collectors evaluate a coin, they don't simply look at what metal it's made from. They focus on condition. They focus on preservation. They focus on originality. And they focus on rarity within the highest quality levels. This is where the 1981 D. Roosevelt dime starts attracting attention. Millions were produced. That fact alone makes many people assume the coin must be common. However, experienced collectors understand something extremely important. There is a huge difference between a coin's mintage and the number of coins that survive in elite collector condition. Most 1981 D. Roosevelt dimes entered circulation immediately. They experienced wear. They received scratches. They accumulated contact marks. They lost their original brilliance. Year after year, ordinary use gradually reduced their quality. As decades passed, fewer and fewer remained in exceptional condition. This created a fascinating challenge for collectors. Finding a normal 1981 D. Roosevelt dime is easy. Finding one with outstanding preservation, exceptional eye appeal, and elite collector quality is an entirely different story. This difference has become one of the driving forces behind collector demand. When advanced collectors search for examples, they often focus on details that ordinary people never notice. They study the brightness of the original mint luster. They examine the sharpness of Roosevelt's portrait. They inspect the reverse design. They evaluate the surfaces under magnification. Even tiny differences can separate an average coin from a highly desirable specimen. One of the most exciting characteristics of exceptional 1981 D. Roosevelt dimes is their visual appearance. When preserved properly, these coins can display remarkable brilliance. Light moves across the surfaces in a way that immediately catches a collector's attention. The details appear sharp and fresh. The coin seems frozen in time. This type of preservation creates a powerful attraction within the collecting community. Another important factor is collector competition. Whenever a coin becomes difficult to locate in top-tier condition, demand often increases among those attempting to build elite collections. The finest examples become especially desirable because they represent the best survivors from their generation. Collectors understand that quality is not common. Quality is earned through decades of preservation. That reality adds excitement to the hunt. The 1981 D. Roosevelt dime also attracts attention because of the possibility of identifying interesting mint characteristics and production varieties. Collectors often study strike quality, die states, and unusual features. Any authenticated and significant mint-related variety can generate additional interest. The search itself becomes part of the excitement. Every coin tells a story. Every coin has traveled a unique path through history, and every exceptional survivor represents a tiny piece of American numismatic heritage. As years pass, more collectors continue entering the hobby. Many begin by searching through everyday coins. Some discover fascinating pieces. Others develop a passion for building complete Roosevelt dime collections. As demand for high-quality examples grows, the best-preserved coins continue attracting attention. Now we've reached the moment many viewers have been waiting for. The value reveal. For the specific FI condition 1981 D. Roosevelt dime discussed in today's video, the collector value being referenced is approximately $25,000. That figure represents the type of number that captures attention throughout the coin collecting community. It transforms what appears to be a simple modern dime into a remarkable collector piece. It reminds us that condition matters, preservation matters, collector demand matters, and sometimes the smallest coins can create the biggest surprises. This is exactly why experienced collectors never underestimate a coin based solely on appearance. The true story is often hidden beneath the surface. For collectors hoping to find exceptional examples, patience remains one of the most valuable tools. Careful examination, proper storage, and a willingness to learn can make a tremendous difference. Always protect coins from unnecessary handling. Avoid cleaning them. Preserve their original surfaces whenever possible. And remember that professional evaluation can be important when dealing with potentially valuable specimens. The story of the 1981 Roosevelt Dime proves that coin collecting is far more than a hobby. It is a treasure hunt. It is history. It is discovery. And sometimes it is the search for extraordinary quality hiding within ordinary-looking objects. Thank you for joining us today on Minted Million Coins. If you enjoyed this incredible journey into the world of the 1981 Roosevelt Dime, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, because Minted Million Coins is freshly updated every day with rare coin discoveries, collector insights, hidden treasure stories, valuable coin research, and exciting numismatic adventures. And remember, the next remarkable coin discovery may already be waiting in a collection, a coin album, a forgotten drawer, or somewhere nobody has looked in years. Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and keep hunting for hidden treasures.